Hi, Karu. I'm not sure how long the battery on this camera is going to last. Once again, I am going to get a new camera someday soon so I can make videos again. It's actually, I find it kind of oppressive to try to make videos with this camera because I just don't know what's going to happen. I don't know, if the battery's going to die or. Anyway, I just watched your video. Um, actually, I didn't get to see the end of it because the internet kind of locked it off. But I got to the point where you were showing video of the drive-in. I will go back and watch the rest and maybe respond if there's more there. But
Hey, Karu. I did watch the end of your video, and I just wanted to comment one thing on the comment about watching football after having watched a lot of soccer. I agree completely. I just have a really difficult time watching football anymore. And what I find that I do is I actually go to the NFL webpage and I try to watch the highlights of all the games because I get bored, I get distracted, and maybe it's like that short attention span thing, like when you flash cuts and everything. But after watching soccer, there's always something happening in soccer. You can always watch and figure out, there's always something to look at. But I have trouble watching football as well. So that's all I wanted to add. Back to your original programming.
that's kind of cool. I think it's actually really cool that you're writing letters to Duncan. I think that's really. I agree that that's a different way to communicate. And actually, it's interesting because when I was a kid, if my dad and I had an argument, my dad occasionally would write me a letter about, what he was thinking. And it always, for me, made me feel, I don't know, it felt like there was something special about it. Like he'd taken the time to, to, to write out an argument. And I remember one point when I was a teenager and he was jumping on my case for something I was doing, which rightfully so, I'm sure. Um, and uh, and I said something about how I didn't ask to be born, or and so he wrote me this long, like I don't know, 4-page letter about, fully typed and everything, not handwritten, about and I can't remember exactly what the content was, but it was great. I mean, it was really nice, and he discussed things very intellectually and addressed things, and it was really cool. So I think it's cool that you're writing letters to Duncan. I'm sure it's going to be a great experience for him. It's going to be tough in some ways, but in other ways it'll be good. I mean, and we just kind of went through the same thing with Carew going to you, although it's for a shorter period of time. I am so happy with the experience he had, and he's very pleased. And it wasn't all positive, but he came back and he was so excited to be home, and he's so talkative, and he wants, it's like he's got this newfound self confidence and a whole new well of experience to draw on in conversations and interactions with other people. Um, and I really appreciate you giving him that opportunity. It was just great. And actually, he's got, much to my chagrin, he's got an enormous amount of respect for you, and I can't really understand how that could happen. But some things, that's one of the things. Maybe the lesson you should take from sending Duncan away is that there's unintended consequences to sending your child away to kind of grow and mature. Um, anyway, it's great. It's good to have him back, and I appreciate everything you guys did for him. And he clearly does too. He really enjoyed his time there, and he's talking a lot about it, obviously. And actually, and similarly, when we sent Brenda to college, I mean, it's interesting because we sent her up there, and she didn't come home for 6 weeks. The first time we sent her up there. Now, she was up there for 2 weeks, and we just went up and spent the weekend with Linda and Brad, and the Taylors were there too, Neil and Mary, and she came up. We picked her up in Walla Walla on the way up, and then she's going to be back down here in not too long. So it's funny because last year it was 6 weeks, boom, she was gone, and this year I think there's going to be more interaction. Partially because Carew is planning on going to Whitman next year, and so he's planning a trip up there. But anyway, it's kind of interesting that that's going to happen. But it was the same thing. We wanted to be able to contact her and be in touch with her, but not. We wanted her to feel like we let her go, and we weren't like holding on to her. And as it is now, she texts Sarah like multiple times every day. She and Sarah, when she went to college, she got texting, and she told us that she wanted us all to have texting as well. and so we're a texting family now. I'm gonna sneeze. Anyway, we were up in Pullman with Brad and Linda, and we went to the fair, and it was crazy. I'll tell you about it some other time, but yeah, it was just like they were showing sheep. We watched Emily and Isaac show their sheep. Sarah and I went and watched the people showing pigs, kids showing pigs, showing cows. You know, they have all these competitions, and it was cool. It was cool. It was fun to check it out. But this morning, Brad and Neil were setting up a wind turbine to power their internet relay. So, you know, they can't get wireless internet in their location because they're down in the little valley. So they put a post up on the hill across the way, and they put a couple solar panels to power the relay in it, and you can see Steptoe from there, and you can see the antenna out there. So they've got line of sight right to their little antenna on this post, and then it relays down to their house where they've got a receiver and rebroadcast the wireless signal. And it's great, actually. It's reliable, it's fast, but their solar panels weren't quite powering it enough, even during the summer. So Brad, for like $500, bought a little mini wind turbine that he could put up there that I think generates like 5 times the power of the solar panel. So so we were up there putting it up, and it was like a typical Brad moment. We get up there, and he's mounted on this pipe, and he sticks it up over the post, and he's holding it up on the post and getting ready to screw the brackets on. And all of a sudden, a gust of wind comes up, and the thing starts whipping, you know, and he's holding it, and if he drops it, it's gonna like cut off his head. And so I was trying to help him screw in the screws, and I was like, "Can you move your hand?" He goes, "I'm afraid to move my hand." But anyway, it was pretty cool, and it looks like it's going to work really well. It was amazing because there wasn't really that much wind. It was amazing how much it generated. But I was thinking, man, we should put a couple of those on our roof and see how much power usage we could cut. You know, for $1,000, I don't know. Probably take us 20 years to recoup the cost, but it would be kind of fun. Anyway, it was interesting. Soccer's in full swing here, keeping very busy with that. Although this week is the 100th anniversary of Roundup, and we're having a Roundup, and the projection, I've heard anywhere from 75 to 100,000 people coming into town this week. I suspect it'll be on the lower end because, you know, people inflate things. And it might not even be 75,000, I don't know, but there's tons of work going on in town. They're doing all this work to make the town look nice. They've gotten lots of grants, and different supporters of Roundup have granted money to upgrade the facades in town. The Children's Museum's getting a complete makeover, which is pretty cool. And they've got a couple new parks. They've just repaved all the roads, stimulus funding, and the rodeo starts tomorrow. They had a parade yesterday, so it's about to get crazy around here. It's going to be tough to get around from our house to anywhere. And actually, really, Sarah and I should be going shopping right now. Maybe I'll go talk to her Sunday evening before Roundup. Now's the time. We got to go shop, get everything that you think of, because by tomorrow they're going to have Main Street closed down. It's just going to be a nightmare. Anyway, exciting times. I'll probably take some video of that. Probably should have bought a camera before Roundup, so I would have had the camera, so I could take decent pictures or videos. Make do with what we've got. So kind of exciting times right now. Yeah. Work is moving along. Nothing exciting happening at work. I'll let you know if anything exciting does happen. Carew has become a coffee hound, which, to my chagrin, another lesson to you about Dunkin'. But yeah, more unintended negative consequences. But yeah, I can't think of anything else I want to talk to you about. It's yeah. Hopefully it'll be a fun week and I'll get some video or something. But until I talk to you again, just make sure you remain still dead. Good night.